It's hard to know where to begin when the knife in your back was held by the same hands you once trusted to hold your heart. I used to believe betrayal was something distant, something that happened in movies or to people who lived reckless lives. Not me. I was the good one. The responsible one. The girl who never skipped class, never lied to her parents, never crossed anyone. But maybe being good isn't enough to keep the bad things away. My name is Kaylee. I'm 27 years old, and I used to have a sister I loved more than anyone else in the world. Tasha was 2 years younger than me, but growing up, we were inseparable. We had matching dresses, matching bikes, even matching diaries. She'd always been the more vibrant one, the sparkly star everyone gravitated toward. I was quieter, more grounded. I cleaned up her messes, covered for her when she snuck out, and made excuses when she forgot birthdays. I did it because I loved her. Because I thought family meant everything. We were adults now, and life had finally started to feel stable. I had a steady job as a graphic designer, lived in a modest but cozy apartment downtown, and had been in a committed relationship with Dorian for 4 years. Dorian, my Dorian. The man who brought me coffee in bed on Sundays, who read poetry like it was oxygen, who painted dreams across my skin with his fingertips. I thought he was my forever. Tasha had been living with me for 6 months. She said she needed time to figure things out, and I was happy to give her the space. I wanted her to feel safe. She was working part-time at a bar and drifting through side gigs, but she was always charming, always smiling. I didn't mind picking up the slack. That's what sisters do, right? If I close my eyes now, I can still hear the laughter. The 3 of us on the couch, watching bad movies and eating popcorn. Tasha with her feet on the coffee table, Dorian massaging my shoulders. It was so normal. So safe. So heartbreakingly false. The first sign came like a whisper I almost ignored. I had come home early one afternoon. My boss let us out early after a surprise client cancellation. I walked into the apartment, expecting to find it empty, maybe a bit messy, like usual. Instead, I heard the tail end of a laugh. Her laugh. And his. It came from my bedroom. My stomach dropped so fast I felt winded. I told myself a million things in that split second. Maybe he was helping her with something. Maybe the TV was on. Maybe I was just being paranoid. I stepped quietly toward the door, my hand already trembling on the knob. And just before I pushed it open, I heard my name. She doesn't suspect anything, Dorian said. Tasha laughed again, softer this time. That's because she trusts me. And you. I didn't open the door. I couldn't. My legs gave out and I just sank to the floor, my heart pounding so loud I thought it would echo through the walls. I waited until the laughter faded, until they left the room separately. I waited until it got dark and I could pretend I had just gotten home. That night, I lay in bed with Dorian, his arms wrapped around me, his breathing slow and peaceful. I stared at the ceiling and wondered how many nights he had held me after being with her. I thought about the kind of person Tasha must be to do this. But even then, even as my heart was breaking, I didn't confront them. I needed proof. I needed to know I wasn't losing my mind. I started watching them. Not in a crazy, obsessive way, at least, that's what I told myself, but carefully. I noticed how Dorian's gaze lingered when Tasha walked into the room. How Tasha suddenly started wearing makeup at home, even when she didn't go out. How their conversations would abruptly stop when I walked in. I even caught them sitting unusually close on the balcony once, their bodies angled like magnets desperate to touch but restrained by some invisible code. Then I found the messages. I wasn't proud of going through his phone. I told myself I wouldn't read anything personal. But one notification, just one, pulled me into a rabbit hole I couldn't escape. Miss you already kiss mark from Tasha. Sent at 3 a.m. I read it all. Weeks of messages. Flirtation turned to confessions. Then intimacy. Then love. They spoke of me like I was an obstacle, like I was a test they had to get through. "She'll be okay," Tasha had written. "She always bounces back." That night, I threw up in the bathroom and cried until I was too exhausted to stand. But the worst was still to come. I didn't say anything. I needed a plan. Something more than screaming or throwing things. I needed them to feel the weight of their betrayal. But before I could do anything, fate handed me something crueler than I ever expected. Tasha sat me down one morning, her face pale, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her hoodie. "I need to tell you something," she said. "And I know it's going to change everything." I already knew. My heart prepared itself for the blow. "I'm pregnant," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "And it's Dorian's." She broke down. She sobbed into her hands like she was the one who had been betrayed. I sat there, staring at her, the edges of my world collapsing in silence. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "It just did. We didn't plan it. It's complicated. But I want to keep the baby." I didn't say a word. I stood up, walked out the door, and didn't come back that night. The weeks that followed were a blur. I moved in with a friend. Quit my job for a fresh start. Cut off both Tasha and Dorian completely. My phone exploded with messages, pleas, apologies, explanations I never asked for. I deleted every one. But forgetting isn't the same as healing. Everywhere I went, I saw reminders. The smell of Dorian's cologne on a stranger. A laugh that sounded like hers. A flicker of memory when I walked past our favorite cafe. I spent nights wondering what I had done wrong. Was I too boring? Too trusting? Did I ignore signs that were screaming in my face? But the truth was, it wasn't about me. It was about who they were. People who couldn't hold loyalty in their hearts. People who mistook selfishness for love. It's been 2 years. I haven't spoken to them since. Mutual friends told me they kept the baby. A boy. Named after some artist I used to love. Apparently, they're still together. Posting photos that look like happiness. Painting a picture of a perfect family. Sometimes I wonder if the baby looks like me. If he has the same hazel eyes. If he'll grow up knowing the truth of how he came into this world. Or if they'll rewrite history, painting themselves as victims of a cruel, unkind love. I don't stalk them online. I don't ask questions. I don't let the ghost of their choices live rent-free in my head. Not anymore. Instead, I live. I found a new job, far from the city we all once shared. I met new people who don't know the pain I carry. And slowly, I started letting someone in again. Someone kind. Patient. The kind of person who doesn't make me question my worth. Healing isn't linear. Some days I still wake up angry. Some days I mourn not just the relationship, but the version of myself that believed certain bonds were unbreakable. But I've learned this. You can lose everything, your trust, your love, your illusion of safety, and still survive. You can rebuild from ashes. You can be both broken and whole at the same time. And you can choose not to carry their sins anymore. That's what I do now. I carry myself.